Hey guys, welcome back to Hogs, Cogs and Two Aussie Flogs, the Thinking Man's podcast for riders.
Funny you should say thinking. I'm thinking, what on earth are you wearing?
Might you like it?
Did it come with shorty pyjamas as well?
That's hard. That's cruel. Now let me tell you, there's a story behind this, mate.
Yes.
Now you know how
I'm all ears.
We're always so. Last week we interviewed Annie.
Yes.
Annie Duplessis, and last week when I was in Tassie, Annie came over and visited us while we were in Launceston to watch the premiere of that show.
Yep.
And she bought me this as a gift.
Well.
Yes. Little Harley badges everywhere. Little...
Sort of like a Hawaiian shirt come Harley shirt.
That's it, mate. A very cool Hawaiian shirt. Do you like it?
It's very silky.
It is very silky. I like it. Thank you, Annie. Much appreciated, love.
Thanks, Annie.
Yep.
Well, I'm not thinking I didn't get bloody bugger all.
Well, let me tell you, I got to spend a night with Annie too, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
So what have we got on the show this week?
Mate, let's have a look. So, we're going to start off with a bit of a review of the Brighter Days Festival. It's one of the bigger events of the year that we all attend, and me and Paul have both been this year, so we've both got a bit to say about it. We did a little bit of riding up around there,
Yep.
as was promised, and...
There's a few videos to come for that.
There are a few videos that are going to come out of that one. Then we're going to talk a little bit more about touring Tassie, mate. Mm-hmm. You were there a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
I got back on Monday, and I've got to tell you, mate, if you like riding bikes, if you really like riding motorcycles, you got to get your butt on the Spirit of Tasmania. How good was it? Grumble of the week?
Yep.
You've always got a grumble.
It's not me, mate. It's you.
It is me. I do have a grumble this week, and I'm not happy. All right, and then we're going to have our main topic.
Yep.
Which will be purchasing second-hand motorcycles
And making sure that you're not getting ripped off or you're not getting scammed.
Yeah, and in particular, I'm going to discuss purchasing a bike from Interstate because I recently purchased my 2020 Road Glide from Queensland.
Yep.
And I'll explain how we went about that so that it was safe and a lot of money didn't go astray because that could go balls up.
Yep.
But it didn't, obviously, because it was really, it worked out really well. We got you've got a good product review for us, which I think everybody will be interested in. We got a route. We're going to get a route.
I heard you had a route in Tassie.
I had a route in Tassie.
I had a route in Tassie too.
Yep. Cool. Well, we might...
have a route each.
Yes. Biker-friendly venues of the week.
Yep, there's a cracker.
Yep. And we've got a couple of videos we want to discuss. An update on the Man Cave competition.
Yep.
Which will be our final update on the Man Cave competition. A little bit of correspondence from the viewers. And then we'll run down a couple of rides, runs and events that are here in Victoria in the next couple of weeks.
And then wrap it up.
That'll be it, mate. I think all about enough.
Yeah.
So, Brighter Days.
Guys, just before we go into Brighter Days, I've got a bit of a lurgy at the moment. So if I sound a bit croaky as we're going through and I'm drinking water, it's because I'm trying to stop myself from coughing.
Yeah.
He gave it to me.
That's highly possible. Brighter Days, mate. How good was it this year?
Absolutely sensational. It was great. I thought the music was good. I thought the venue was good as always. I thought the people were good, like the crowds were good. I did think it was down a little bit on last year.
Definitely down on last year, mate. I'd say, look, the overall crowd was down probably 30%.
Yep.
And on the Cooper Card Run, which we did on Saturday, it was down heaps. And I don't understand why, because it was a really good run. I think last year they went over to Toowoomba Gap and around to Dedarang and that.
Yep.
This time they did it in reverse.
Yep.
But they didn't put in the Toowoomba Gap.
Yep.
I would have liked them to put in the Toowoomba Gap, but it doesn't matter. Yep. It was still a great day out. I tell you what I did do is I had a quick chat with and it'll be in one of my videos, with the publican at the Dedarang pub.
Yep.
And don't put it mildly, these runs that take a big, a heap of bikes to a little country pub make a difference.
Yep.
And he was saying, he says, this really helps them out.
Yep.
And not only him, but he was able to employ a couple more staff, even though it was only for about a couple of hours.
Yeah.
He said it really helped out. So that was really good to hear.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it before. We talked about it before with the with the
bakery runs.
Yeah, bakery runs and the redneck rally and all that sort of stuff. It really does make a difference to these smaller towns, and it's a good thing.
Yeah. No, mate, the bands were great. The only thing I can say is that this year it was more expensive to do.
Yep.
I think it was $160 instead of the usual $120.
Yep.
You add that up when you're taking a couple or whatever.
And especially at like the times that they are at the moment, interest rates are up and the cost of living's gone up and all sorts of stuff, and people just can't find that extra bit of cash. And I know it doesn't sound like much, but you add it all up, it adds up. It adds up quickly. It adds up. I know they had James Rain, and the whisper I heard was that maybe he charged a bit more than what they would normally get charged for other acts. I don't think they need big name acts. I think they could do it quite easily without such big name. I think Chocolate Starfish were fantastic.
Chocolate Starfish are always good,
Screaming
mate.
Eagles were good. Yep. Kate Sobrano was great. Richard Clapton was good. I think they had Bongo Starkey's Skyhawks was there.
That was actually quite good.
Yeah.
It was actually quite funny watching, because Bongo Starkey's got to be in his 70s now, mate.
Yeah.
But he was rocking on.
That's
cool.
what I mean. I don't
think...
I think most of the people are there... Yeah, they're there for the music, but I think they'll be quite easily entertained without having a big name act. Yeah. And I think they'll be far better off to drop back to $120, get more people there, get more money, sell more merch, all that sort of stuff. The only thing I would say, and I keep going on about this, and it seems to be an Australian thing, is that we sort of don't. Sometimes we do things a bit half-assed. I'm not doing it in a harsh way, but I think it would be a fantastic opportunity for some of the big manufacturers to get stalls there at Brighter Days, and you know, you don't have to be like Sturgis, but have a tyre fitting bay there, have a servicing bay there, have a accessories and all that sort of stuff there. Man,
I don't see Harley were there with a few bikes, but it wasn't.
Again, it's not...
I was there in the afternoon, so it was closed each time I got there.
Yeah, it's not a full commitment.
I don't see the motorcycle industry here...
Getting behind it.
Something. And that's the biggest gathering of Harley Davidsons in Victoria.
I just think it's incumbent upon them to show support for that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, whether they sell stuff or they don't sell stuff, it's just good PR and good customer service and good... business practice to get involved in that stuff. I just think you have to. It just makes more sense, and I can't see how you possibly wouldn't sell more stuff.
I'm not a big fan, especially in Victoria. I don't know about New South Wales at all. I've been up in Queensland and looked at some of the shops up there. I think the motorcycle industry in Victoria is dead.
Yeah.
I think it's dead, and I don't think it gives a shit about anything more than selling overpriced bikes.
Yeah, and it's a bloody shame, because this is my issue with it. I think sometimes what happens is, and I don't want to go on about it too much, but I think they start seeing the almighty dollar as the most important thing, and it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is customer service. You get your customer service right, you don't have to make. We'll have a chat and Grumble a week in a minute, mate, where I'll tell you about how poor customer service has led to one customer walking out the door permanently. Yeah. So that sort of stuff shouldn't happen. So, Victorian motorcycle industry, for Christ's sake, get behind. Contact the guys from Brighter Days. Yep. Say, listen, we'd like to set up a stall there. And I'm telling you now, you know, Rollies, they should be doing it. Yep. Harley Heaven, I don't know what involvement they have, but they should be doing it, or somebody in that motorcycle industry do it. There should be a tyre manufacturer there. Yep. Fit tyres while you're there. Mate, I'm telling you now, there'd be blokes getting tyres fitted there. Left, right and centre. If they had it done. Yep. They managed to be able to do it in Daytona and Sturgis, and yes, I know the population's big and all that sort of stuff, but you got to do it to suit the population that's there at the time. And the bigger you make it, the more people will come, the more it'll grow legs, and the better it'll be, and you know. And when you get that good service at an event like that, and you see that those people are supporting your community, where do you reckon you're going to go? That's right. Where are you going to go and buy your next thing from? I'll give you the tip.
It ain't from some of these places,
Yeah.
mate.
Look, and not only
And I
that,
wonder why we all, most people are shopping online these days.
well, you imagine they get up there and they do all that sort of stuff and they donate, I don't know, 5%, 2.5% from every sale they make to Brighter Days.
Yeah.
Well, you reckon a bloke, will I service one? I service? Yeah, I'll service and at least they get a couple more bucks. Will I get my tyres done? Yeah, bugger it. I may as well get the tyres while I'm here. I'll listen to some music, get me tyres fitted or whatever done, and away you go. That's what they should be doing.
Yeah, mate, I don't get it.
Anyway, that's just a little bit of a thing there. But
might as well be walking into Cogs rather than half the bloody motorbike shops around town these days.
Yeah. But aside from that, Brighter Days.
But Brighter Days was great.
Absolutely fantastic. It was really, really good. I just think that the motorcycle community businesses could do it better.
Let me say, the Cooper card run was run on Saturday. You couldn't make it because of a tiny off.
Yeah. We had a bit of a drop of the bike, which wasn't great. Which Elaine had a little bit of a break in her leg, but she managed to soldier on through the rest of the day. But we managed to film it, and
she threw herself under the bike. Right.
Thank Christ she was there because I would have had scratches all down the side.
I know,
of the bike.
it's not a mark on it.
No,
there's not a mark on it.
Elaine, not so much.
All right, she took one for the team, mate.
Yes, yep.
She took one for the team. Her leg now matches the bike because, quite frankly, it was black from the ankle to the bloody knee.
Yes.
But she survived and she soldiered on.
Unfortunately, the same leg that got cleaned up last time.
Yeah.
Which didn't help. But anyway, we got through it. We went to the Mitta Pub for lunch.
How good's the Mitta Pub,
Look,
mate?
guys, if you're up doing the Brighter Days, stay for the couple of days, stay extra, get yourself over to the Mitta Pub. Absolutely sensational.
Which way did we go? So we went around via, we went back toward...
Dedarang.
Picked you up at
Myrtleford. Back way
to Dedarang.
Dedarang up through Eskdale. It starts with T.
Trent?
No, not somebody from up there. Yeah. They'll be able to tell me.
And then up to the Mitta Pub.
Up to the Mitta Pub.
Oh, and how good's the Mitta Pub?
Mitta Pub is fantastic. Meals are fantastic. Staff is fantastic. The setting is exceptional.
Well, you can stay there, mate. So I reckon next time we go up, we've got to get a couple of rooms because I was just getting comfortable when we had to turn around and come up.
Yeah.
And I reckon another 10 minutes and I'd have been overly comfortable.
It's just a great place.
Yeah.
The girls, if you have never been there, at the front it looks like your quintessential Aussie pub.
Yeah, just a country pub.
You go in there and it opens up like what? Like, it's
like Doctor Who's TARDIS when you walk in the front door.
You get out the back there, there's a magnificent beer garden. The decor is all done with old, reused ploughs and farm attachments and implements and all that sort of stuff. If you imagine great big beams holding the building up, then you got the river at the back, which the girls were down in. We panned some gold while I was there.
That was funny to watch. This fella on the tail gunner, they get there was a cone.
Like a witch's hat.
Yeah, like a witch's hat thing, and you whip the bottom bloody round thing off it,
turn
it over, throw some rocks in it. Next minute they're panning for frigging gold, and I'm going, he's just taking the piss. There's no way. Next minute they found a bit.
Yeah, found a bit.
It was,
fly shit
size.
But it
was gold.
Yeah, we got it, which was pretty cool.
Made her a very happy young lady.
Yes. Could be excited there for a minute. Great day. And again, going around, there's some fantastic views. There's great photo opportunities. And then from there, we shot up to the Dartmouth Dam. If you haven't been there, do that because you can ride the bike across the dam wall. You'll get some fantastic photos. We've got some great drone shots.
Good drone footage
which
of that,
we'll put up. I couldn't use my drone. Again, another mishap, which that'll come.
Oh, we didn't discuss that.
No, we won't. Yeah, thanks. If you haven't been there, do that. It's a great ride to get there.
Yeah.
Lots of twisties and beautiful.
Yeah. That was weird.
Yeah, strange. So it's a great ride, great twisties. Nice roads again. All the roads up there are bloody fantastic. You go through some beautiful countrysides. There's some pretty cool signs up there when they show the dinosaurs and stuff. Yeah, cool. That's fun.
Yeah.
But guys, Brighter Days, get up there. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And then the next day, we went for a ride out to Chiltern.
Yes.
And we visited
Gordon.
Gordon's a
87
87-year-old bloke with a little bit of a man cave. It brought tears to my eyes, mate.
Absolutely.
It was...
Not very often I'm speechless,
Yeah.
but I was actually speechless. And a big thank you to Hoggy, to David Hogg. Thanks for organising that for us too. That was
Hoggy, well done, mate.
Yeah.
It's basically a bit of a hidden gem up there.
Yeah.
This bloke's used to run the
local service
local
station.
service station, and he's collected a few things over the years. My God, mate. I mean,
we'll put it this way: there was over 50 of the big gravity-fed pumps, the 12
1940s, 1950s, 12-foot tall gravity-fed pubs.
Beautiful,
mate, in pristine condition.
Yeah,
by the
signs, motorcycles, motor bicycles.
I went up to Castlemaine 4X Antiques the other week, mate, and I did a vlog about that. And one of the things in that was the girls were looking at one of those oil stands. So, you know, we used to have out the front of the service stations with the oil
bottles in or something.
And they couldn't believe that it was $2,000 just for the stand, which was in very nice nick. Gordon's got about 120 of them.
Yep.
The signage is just amazing that he's got.
Yep.
The petrol pumps, all with spider webs and it's like...
The smell,
like a trip back in town.
Yeah, the smell, it got me back to my granddad's garage. You know, that smell, which is probably why you got a bit emotional about it as well.
Oh, mate, it really brought tears to my eyes. I mean, it was stunning.
Yeah.
And look, if you're into garage memorabilia, if you'd really like to go and see it, it can be organised, but we're not going to just give out his details because there are some nefarious bastards out there who might take advantage of it.
Yeah, and he's a little bit vulnerable.
He is a bit vulnerable, and we would hate that to come. So, but if you're interested in seeing probably the best man cave, the best garage memorabilia collection in the state, if not in the country.
Yeah.
Shoot us an email to Hogs, Cogs and Flogs@gmail.com and we'll see what we can do.
We can try
might be able to organise a
ride out there or something. Maybe do like a bakery run and include that in it somehow.
Oh, that'd be all right, wouldn't it? No?
And you know what the great thing was? Gordon loved us being there.
Oh, what a top bloke. And he's still sitting there while we're talking, he's tinkering, putting things...
He was happy to sit there and chat to us. And he used to be a basketball. We talked about basketball. It was just honestly a fantastic day. And then we finished it off at Caffeine Machine with Nick.
Oh, how good was that? And by the way, we'll be at Caffeine Machine in a couple of weeks, mate.
For the Rubber Glen Rumble.
About that, the Rubber Glen Rumble. And anyone who's thinking about heading up to the Rubber Glen Rumble, get yourself a place now because we're going to have a ball up there. That's going to be a big... I mean, we're going up for 6 days, aren't we?
Yes.
Where are we staying?
In Rutherglen.
In Rutherglen itself?
Right in Rutherglen, yeah.
I'm not going to have to go riding anywhere. Well, we are going to go riding.
But look, guys...
We're not going to go riding.
Brighter days. If you haven't booked, start looking at booking now because it books out very, very fast.
Yeah.
Accommodation-wise, I mean. So if you want to go... I could not recommend it more highly. It is just an absolute ripper weekend, and it is what you make of it. And you know what? Next year, if you want, we'll be up there again. And if you're not too sure, we had Miana and John come along this time, who sort of a bit more new to it, I suppose. Yeah. And they hang around. We're happy for people to come along for the rides and stuff with us. And if you're not sure where to go and you just want to do it yourself, by all means, hit us up and ask us. What do we recommend? Where to go? And I'm more than happy to help you out as to places to go, where to eat, all that sort of stuff. There's places.
It's a top little location.
Yeah, absolute ripper.
Now,
yes,
a couple of weeks ago you got back from Tassie.
Yep.
I got back Monday night.
Yep.
Let me just make myself a little bit more comfortable.
Yes. No, look out.
Hey, what have we got happening here, mate? This is a little bit of Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger happening here, mate. We got the
I'm Danny DeVito, yeah?
You, of course you are.
Yep. Obviously been to Richardson's Harley Davidson.
Obviously been to Richardson's Harley Davidson, and we'll get into that in a little bit of time because let me tell you.
How good's that place?
I think I've got a man crush.
Yeah.
I think I've got a man crush. But what we're going to discuss now is a couple of tips in relation to Tassie, because if you ride in Australia, you've got to have this Tassie on your list of places
100%.
to go. Mate, we've got some great places to ride here.
Yes.
They are just... I think Tasmania was designed by a motorcyclist.
Yes. Because nearly all the roads are perfectly cambered for motorcycles. They are And look, and the other thing is there's quite a bit of roadworks going on over there, but the beauty of it is that when you go there, there's actually people working on those roads. And when they're finished...
I actually saw a shovel moving.
Yes. And
Never heard that before.
When they're finished, those roads will be absolutely fantastic to ride. But
12 months from now, mate, they are going to be great.
Yeah. And you know what? The people actually want you there as motorcyclists. They're actually motorcycle... what do you call it? The
very motorcycle friendly place.
Yeah, savvy.
Yeah, very much.
It's been to me it was absolutely fantastic. The ride across is fairly easy. The new terminal down at Geelong is really good. The only thing I would say to them is they need a
bike shelter.
A bike shelter, because sometimes you'd be lining up there for a good couple of hours or an hour and a half before you get on the boat. And if it's raining, you're actually out in the elements, which is okay if you're in your car, but if you're not in a car, you're on a bike, you're sort of just sitting there. So one or two things: either get us on early or get a shelter there. And it doesn't need to be a massive shelter. If you've had it 20 metres long by, I don't know, 10 metres wide, or wouldn't even have to be.
Well, we had probably, I think when we were going, there was probably 60 bikes lined up.
Yep.
So, and they only were parked sort of side by side.
Yeah.
So 30 bikes long, 2 bikes wide.
Okay, even if you had somewhere for yourself to stand, not out in the elements. That's the one thing I would say.
If your bike was getting wet, you could actually go on.
Yeah, that's the one thing I would say is they need to improve. But other than that, I thought the get on, get off was
getting on, getting off, and the way they strap your bike down.
Yeah, perfect.
You don't have to do anything. He tells you, the guy will be there. He'll tell you exactly where to park. He'll go there, no, bit further forward, a little bit back, right. Thank you, mate. And then next minute, there's 2 of them, and you've got 2 tie downs on your. Normally on your, what's the names? Your crash bars.
Yes.
And they just strap it down and you grab your crap you want and make sure you leave your fob with your bike. Yeah. Because what'll happen is the boat will start to move a bit and next minute your bike's having a heart attack and the alarm's going off and all sorts of things.
And driving everybody
driving everybody nuts and they're trying to locate you. So you just leave your fob in the glove box.
Yep.
Or in your top box or whatever.
Yep.
And you'll have no problems.
The other tip I would say is, and we both probably did the same thing, is if I was you, I would divide the state up into thirds or half or whatever, depending on how long you go for, and explore that area perfectly. Because over there, I mean, you look on the you look at the map, it's say 250 kilometres. Well, 250 kilometres in Tasmania is like 500, 550 here on the mainland.
100%. If you go 250 k's out.
Yep.
You've got to come 250 k's back.
Correct.
But instead of taking 2.5 hours like it might to get there and 2.5 hours back, it's going to take you 4.5, 5 hours to get there and 4.5, 5 hours to get back.
Yep.
Keep an eye on your Google Maps. If you want to go somewhere in Tassie, before you even book or before you even go over, have a look at the rides you want to take and just put them into Google Maps and it'll tell you how long it takes. And you'll look at it and you go, my Google Maps is having a heart attack because it's telling me it's going to take me 2.25 hours to do 100 k's.
Yeah.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
All right.
100% it is. And that way, if you're having shorter stretches that you're riding, you'll get to see more of the stuff that's and there is just so much to see.
Those little things where you're just riding along and something you've got no idea about that'll then give you the time to turn off and have a quick look at them.
Correct.
You know, I mean, on the last day we were there, we'd just come through Hallier Gorge, which was anyway, and we come across Lake Toya.
Yep.
Oh, mate, it just said cafe and resort.
Yep.
Okay, well, could do with a bite to eat. We pulled into there, mate, a massive resort on the massive cafe where you could get a full meal. It was a bar. It had 2 massive open fires. You know, Lake Tullah. There I could stay a night or 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Very comfy.
And these are the things you want to be able to do.
Yeah.
If you get somewhere, you say, geez, you know what, I wouldn't mind staying there an extra night. But if you're riding the whole time, which is unfortunately what we tend to do, but if you're riding the whole time, and I know it is about riding, but it's also about smelling the roses as well. Yeah. So that would be my suggestion is just cut the size down a bit more, explore different parts, and get across there 2 or 3 times to have a look. Yeah,
look, you're not going to see all of Tassie in one trip, not unless you want to stay a month.
No.
There is so much more in Tassie than I ever imagined. I've got to thank Big Bert, one of a fellow YouTuber who's over in Tassie.
Yep.
While we were over there, we did the Black Dog Run.
Yep.
I'll chuck a link up here for that video, which was, and that's why our little mate's sitting here today. Hello. That was really good. They got a really good turnout.
Yep.
And a fantastic run, and I appreciate them inviting, asking me to come and film that. So that was great. But one of the other tips he gave me was, between dusk and dawn, put the bike away.
Yep.
Do not go out and because I tell you what, wherever you go during the day, there's a little furry corpse every 30 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, they must have a lot of animals because they kill a shitload.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're obviously out every night. It's just infested with wildlife. So going out after dark, there's just so many marsupials. Forget it.
Yeah.
Just
don't bother.
Just don't do it.
Don't bother.
Another thing, speed. The speed limit isn't an advisory sign. We all seem to think here that the speed limit is an advisory sign. In Tassie, if it says 45 k's around this corner, you should be doing 45 k's around that corner, because there's probably a bloody good reason for it.
Yep.
And not only that, apparently their coppers take it really seriously.
Yep.
But it's just a safety thing, especially over on the west coast.
Yep.
Because it's a lot wetter over there, because it's the alpine area over near Cradle Mountain and all that. If it says 55, do 55. If it says 45, do 45. If it says 110, do 110.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I did that ride from Hobart to Queenstown, 99 bends and all that sort of.
Yeah.
And if it's saying 45, you probably better be doing 45. And there's some of them are 25.
Yeah.
They are that. And the thing is, they get sharper as the corner goes.
Yeah.
So it gets tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. And if you're going to, like, a lot of them are second gear corners.
Yeah.
You just can't get around it. Especially loaded up. I mean, probably a lighter bike, you're probably a sports bike, so probably do it a bit easier. But when you're loaded up on a Harley,
well, we were fully loaded most days, mate. Because the top box was full of logging gear, and the side panniers were full of wet weathers and the like. And that's the other thing is, when you're in Tassie, you've got to wear the right. You've got to take the right equipment, because you were there 4 weeks ago riding around in a t-shirt.
Yep,
mate. I was in t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt, wind cheater, leather jacket, and wet weather
gears.
And the wet weather gear wasn't to keep me dry, because it actually didn't rain much while we were there. We had very, very little few spots, but the vast majority of the time it was just to combat the wind chill factor. Well, it gets freaking cold.
There was nothing between you and the South Pole.
No.
Tasmania. So once that weather, when that wind whips up, it's going to be cold.
So you need the summer gloves, you need the winter gloves.
Yep.
Don't think no matter when you go that, it's December. You can have those cold days then too.
Yep.
So take the appropriate gear. Don't have to take too much other stuff though. I took half a dozen t-shirts. I reckon I could have taken free. Yeah. Because you just wash them after a couple of days.
Yeah. Accommodation, I have no problems really. I think you only had one time we had.
Well, no, we had the day before we were heading to Launceston, we hadn't had any accommodation, because I took your rule, which is basically just wing it.
Yeah.
And got to about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and Lisa said, "Shit, where are we going to stay?" Anyhow, ended up getting a fantastic Airbnb for really cheap.
Yep.
In Launceston, and it was absolutely magnificent. Great spot to park the bike out the back, which was basically hidden from the street.
Yep.
Which, that's when you're planning a trip like this and you're riding around on an expensive bike, you don't want to just leave it in the street. Yeah. So one of my requirements is everywhere I go, I'm going to stay. There's got to be a safe spot to park the bike.
Yeah.
So, but it was really good. Launceston was great, mate. Yep. We'll have a chat about Richardson's Harley shortly. Yep. But while we were there, I was lucky enough to interview David Parry,
yes.
Me and Dollar Bogan's sidekick. We'll chuck the link to a couple of vlogs that I've done up there. They've done really well, because I tell you, David was a top bloke to interview, mate.
Yeah, really good.
And he gave us plenty of time, and that was really good fun. And then from there we went over to Strawn, mate. And I've got to tell you, that was a long day's ride, but it wasn't a hard day's ride.
Yeah.
It was beautiful going past Cradle Mountain, that sort of area. And we went to Strawn. I've got to recommend, if you go to Strawn, you've got to do, there's no point in going to Strawn if you're not going to do the Gordon River Cruise, which takes you out onto Sarah Island.
Yes.
And if you think Port Arthur was a shithole, it was a holiday camping compared to Sarah Island.
So just those people who are overseas and listening to this, so Tasmania was a massive, basic penal colony. And a lot of these areas down there were just horrible. You talk about Port Arthur. Port Arthur was a really heavy duty penal colony, and the Gordon River obviously was a similar sort of thing.
Sarah Island made it looked like a holiday. Port Arthur looked like a holiday camp because it was where the complete bastards were sent to and that wasn't the criminals, that was the blokes looking after them.
Yeah.
You know, and you get off the boat, you go for a walk around. Fascinating guides. The guides that take you around are absolutely, I mean, they're theatrically trained.
Yep.
And I thought they must be, because when we come back, we go to the show that's in town. Here's a recommendation, not just for the ladies, but for the blokes.
Yep.
There's a show in the middle of town. It's been running for about 12 years, I believe, every night. And it's called The Ship That Never Was.
Yep.
And it's basically a pantomime with it had two blokes in it. One was the guy that took us around Sarah Island, and I've got to tell you, $25, I've never laughed so much in all my life, and learnt so much in all my life, for an hour and a half non-stop. So if you're going to Strawn, you got to do both that. The Gordon River Cruise, I'd recommend you pay a little bit extra and go upstairs.
Yep.
Because that comes with a very nice meal, by the way.
Yes.
Your own chairs, very nice meal, and you're nice and warm.
Yep. No.
So that was our experience in Tasmania, mate. We had 11 days. We'll be putting a few vlogs out. I know you've already got, and if you haven't seen Paul's latest vlogs, take a look at them, the Harley Roadshow. There's some cracking rides. Some beautiful spots on there. So just do your research, spend your time. Don't expect to do hundreds and hundreds of kilometres a day.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
No, just wait.
So that was it, mate.
Now,
well, for the millions at home and the throngs of people in the audience, ladies and gentlemen,
let's get ready to grumble. Grumble of the week. Come on. We all know that's what we grumble.
I'm still fuming 12 days, about 15 days later.
Gotta let it go.
So, no, I can't let this one go, mate. No.
Let it go.
No, because I hold a grudge. And look, tell me, viewers, in the comments if you think I'm being unreasonable. All right. So last November, I bought the new bike in October, but it's only come with one key and one fob.
Yep.
So I've gone to Harley Heaven in Dandenong.
Yep.
And I've ordered myself a new key, and I've ordered myself a new fob.
Yep.
So a couple of weeks later, they ring me and go, your fob's in. No worries, so I'll go and get the fob. I get there and they go, all right, that's 120. I'd already paid it, was $125.
Yep.
No worries. Do you want to book it in? What do I want to book in? Well, you got to book in the fob to get it programmed. I said, well, $120 and that bloody pissy little fob, and it still doesn't come programmed. How much is that? Oh, $60. Yeah, all right, well, when I get the key, I'll come in, and when I pick up the key, I'll book it in to get the thing done. You know, I think I should have been told beforehand, but hey, maybe that's my dumb fault for not knowing. So I ordered the key in November, mate. From that time until the day before we went to Tassie, I rang twice and attended the store 4 times. Each time told it hadn't come in, but it was almost there. It was close. It must be coming.
Coming by camel train?
Coming by frigging, not even carrier pigeon, mate. Anyway, so it gets now. We're now, by the way, in March, mid-March. And I go in, and I thought, shit, you know what? I really don't want to be...
It's COVID supply chain issues, that's what it is.
So I go in the day before we're leaving the Tassie. Guys, come to pick up me key. Okay, what's your details? I give him all the details. The guy looks, he spends about 5 minutes on the computer. And look, nice young bloke.
Yep. Very helpful.
Very helpful.
Yep.
And he went, there's something wrong here. I'll go and speak to the person who orders the keys in. And he's gone for about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. And he finally comes out. I know what he's coming out with. And he comes out and he says, there's been a stuff up, it hasn't been ordered. Now, if I had lost my key and needed a key, my bike would be sitting in the shed from November to frickin' March, and it hasn't even been ordered. Now, mistakes happen, and I can handle mistakes. What I can't handle is going in there 4 times and ringing twice and being friggin' lied to.
Yeah.
Because that's what it equated to. Oh, it's coming, it's coming. I've looked on, and they get on the computer and they go, yeah, it's coming. It wasn't coming because it wasn't freaking ordered.
Yeah.
And
so what's happened is that basically is that they couldn't give a
rat's ass, mate.
Couldn't give a stuff.
And I'm sick of going into that shop and being, you know, you walk in and it's half the time you walk in, it's like you're some sort of bloody, you know, an inconvenience to them.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes, you know, look, the guys up the back are normally pretty good. On this occasion, they were let down by the person who was supposed to do the key.
Yep.
But it's happened too many times now.
Yeah, but and
they've lost a customer, mate, because I won't be back, guys. Sayonara, I'll go elsewhere.
Yep.
You know, I'll go elsewhere. Because it's just bullshit.
And you know, and I know that, you know, who knows if they ever watch this.
Tell me if I'm unreasonable.
Yeah, no, that's not being unreasonable. And the other thing is too, I know they say, oh, yeah, well, you know, so what, we lose one customer. Okay. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you lose a lot of customers. Then you know what happens then? You lose a lot of customers. People start losing jobs.
Yep.
Right? That's what happens. And to tell you that it's been ordered, all that was that's bone laziness and not following through on anything. Let's just brush him off and get it happening.
And what really annoyed me was the last time I was in, I said, can you really make sure it's ordered?
Yep.
And the bloke behind the counter, who basically admitted to me he didn't give a toss about motorcycles, it's just because they couldn't hire anyone else, they'd hired this, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's sayonara, guys. I'll be heading elsewhere now for my gear because I'm sick of being treated like I'm an inconvenience, and with absolutely, you know, there's no respect for the customer.
And here's the thing, right? This is what these people don't understand. We all speak to lots and lots of people in the motorcycle industry and people with motorbikes, and yeah. Well, you know. Are you going to recommend anybody to go there?
No. Not in freaking no.
And yeah, look, they're probably probably still selling their motorbikes and all sorts of stuff.
I'm sure, yeah.
But I know one thing for sure is Blake and Geelong won Deal of the Year.
Yeah.
Right? The Blake and Geelong.
I tell you what, I'll go to Geelong.
Yep.
Before I go to Dandenong.
Yep.
And I live 5 minutes from Dandenong, and I live an hour and a half from Geelong.
Yep.
I'll happily take the trip to Geelong from now on.
Yep.
So. Anyway, that's my grumble. Tell me if I'm being a big sook. Put it in the comments. Happy to hear. But I just, you know what? It was just basically the straw that broke the camel's back.
Oh, yeah, and you know, I get sick of poor service. It's just, like I said to you, motorcycle industry in Victoria needs a rocket. Yeah. Some of them anyway. Some of them need.
I'll tell you what.
Some are good.
Well, I'll tell you about a good motorcycle dealer shortly.
But you can't just say because you went to Empire Harley Davidson and they were very good.
Empire Harley in Bendigo, sensational.
I've had nothing but good experiences at Harley Heaven in the city. So I can only go by that. Empire Harley Davidson were great.
Geelong Harley,
fantastic.
Well, you know what? I'll give you
Traralgon Harley Davidson. Brilliant.
I'll give you a quick story about Geelong Harley Davidson. Ferbs, who you've seen or some of you will have seen on some of my videos, he bought his Ultra second hand, and the right hand slip-on, it was rattling and crap. And he rang the bloke who he bought it off, and he said, "Oh yeah, that's a Geelong Harley one." So apparently Geelong Harley Davidson actually get their own slip-ons made.
Okay.
And he rang them and they said, well, bring it in and let us have a look. So we went for a bit of a ride down to Geelong. We thought, we'll go down and do a little bit of the Ocean Road. We'll do Geelong. We'll jump on the ferry. We'll come across in the morning. But anyway, so we get to Geelong and the bloke walks out from Geelong Harley.
Yep.
Walks up, has a look at it, gives it a rattle and goes, yeah, no worries, mate. We'll take it out the back. And Ferbs sort of went, yeah, all right, mate, but how much is this going to cost me?
Yeah.
Now, he's the second owner of the bike.
Yep.
The bike, the pipe's 2.5 years old.
Yep.
They said, no, it's not going to cost you anything, mate. That shouldn't have happened, so we're going to replace it.
Yep.
They took it out the back, slipped it off, put a brand new one on. No questions asked. That's service.
Yep.
Now, I don't have any affiliation with Geelong Harley, mate. The only thing I've ever bought from there was a poker chip.
Yep.
All right? But I know good service when I see it.
Yep, 100%.
And you know what? We need a country Harley Davidson dealer in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Because I'm not seeing any, mate, quite frankly.
Yep.
All right. Now,
You finished then? You got that off your chest?
Just a moment. All right, I'm good.
Yeah, okay. Right.
All right, buying a bike second hand.
So, can I just... look, guys, there's a lot of scams out here. So, I had a mate of mine here last night, George, who's his boss just got done for $500.
Yep.
Got diddled out of $500. So, people advertised a motorbike. They said just pay a $500 deposit, and we'll hold it for you. What blah blah blah. So he paid the $500 deposit in good faith. Came down to near me actually, down at Hoppers Crossing. They gave me an address. The address happens to be Bunnings, Hoppers Crossing. So
Bunnings don't sell motorcycles.
No, they don't. No. So it tries to message the bloke. Oh yeah, I'm not going to be there. My brother's going to be there, but it should be all honky dory. Okay, no worries. Tries again. Basically, what they do is they string you along so the funds clear.
Yeah.
And then they're completely uncontactable. Obviously, got a burner phone or a burner SD card or whatever you call them. And diddled the poor bugger out of $500. Right? Now, you bought a motorcycle Interstate.
I did. I bought my 2020 Road Glide from Queensland, sight unseen.
Yes. Now, so that creates an even bigger can of worms, right?
That was a big, scary can of worms, mate, because we weren't talking $500 here.
No.
We were talking a shitload more than $500.
Yeah.
And it actually was a bit of a dilemma for me because, look, I mean, I could have flown up there and done all that sort of thing, but...
Man, that's a big... All of a sudden that becomes too...
It is now starting to add costs, and I mean, then you go up there and you buy it and then you ride it back down. Well, by the time I get it back down, it actually costs more to ride it down with accommodation, with time off work, with all those sorts
Not
of
only that,
things.
but when you get down from
flying,
Cairns or wherever he was...
and you're going to need to give it a service because it's a 5,000k trip, so you're probably going to have to give it a service when you get home.
Yep.
So... I arranged for it to be brought down by a professional motor vehicle transport.
Yep.
Now, the thing was, though, is look at it from the other side. Billy, who was selling it to me, he was selling it because he was going into the Air Force.
Yep.
Shout out to Billy, good bloke, Billy Calder. But he didn't want to give me the bike because it was worth a shitload of money.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give him a shitload of money before I had the bike.
Yep.
So we had a dilemma. So I needed to know that the bike wasn't just photos, it actually existed.
Yep.
And B, I wanted the bike before I go. I'm not handing over that sort of cash without being given the product.
Exactly.
So how do we go about this? Well, it was funny. I was actually talking with the transport company, and the woman at the transport company just happened to suggest something, and I went, you know what, that's a really good idea.
Yep.
Billy always got his bikes, and still does, I believe, gets all his bikes serviced at Magic Harley Davidson in Brisbane.
Yep.
Right? So, in Cairns.
Yep.
Magic Harley Davidson in Cairns. And the suggestion was that he take the bike and put it into possession of Magic Harley Davidson.
Yep.
They become
the custodian
of the bike until the transport company pick it up from me. Once they gave me, they took possession of it. I happened to have a mate, Nelson was up there.
Yep.
He dropped in and saw it.
Yep.
So we've seen the bike. We know it exists. It's there. The guys at Magic Harley, I've been on the phone to the manager and he said, yep, Billy's put it here. It's here awaiting your collection. I've got all your details and that.
Yep.
Perfect. I then transferred the money to him.
Yep.
So he's got the money. He's happy because he had to rush off to buy a new toy.
Yep.
Right? I'm happy because the bike is now basically in my possession, even though it's with Magic Harley.
Yep.
All right? All I would suggest is you don't do this with, the local piddly little shop down the road.
No. You're not substantial.
You could come to an arrangement with any of the bigger Harley dealers. I'm sure would be happy to do it. And even if you have to pay, $100 for them to hold onto the bike for, 48 hours or whatever it is, the peace of mind that gave me in handing over that sort of money, and the fact that the peace of mind it gave him because he wasn't giving the bike, everybody was happy.
It was a win-win.
You know, so Magic Harley, thanks very much to you guys up at Cairns. They did a great job. They didn't charge us a cent for it.
Customer service again.
You know, and I've got to say, I had the bike transported straight down to Harley Heaven, Melbourne.
Yep.
And Theo there looked after me, and he held on to me for 24 hours until I could go and get it.
Yep.
So it went from Billy to Magic Harley to Harley Heaven to me. The transport company I used were brilliant. I think it cost me $1,600 to get it brought down. But if you take into account airfares, time off work, accommodation and fuel and a service on the bike, it would have cost me more than that.
Yeah, easily.
And it had no extra kilometres put on it. You remember, if I'd have bought it down, instead of having 12,000 Ks on it when I bought it, it would have had 17,000, 18,000 Ks on it when I bought it. So to me, it was a no-brainer to have it transported. Yep. So that's how I do it. In relation to buying a local bike, I'm not handing over a cent to the bike.
Yeah.
And you can do it because you can go there and you can see it. You don't just... the problem is people see a bike...
Fall in love with it.
They fall in love with it, and as soon as you've done that, you're stuffed.
Yeah.
I mean, I was willing to walk away from the deal if I couldn't feel secure about it.
Yep.
And I think everybody has to be the same. Everybody has to be willing to walk away from the bike that they want unless they're 100% sure. And the only way you're 100% sure, mate, is when they're giving you the key, the bike's sitting there, and you're handing them the cash.
The other thing I would say is get the VIN number off it. You can do it. You can do a VIN check. It'll tell you the history. It'll tell you if the bike's been repaired as well. You can find out that information if you want to. You can find it if it's still under finance, because you can't be buying a bike if it's still under finance.
Yep.
Get all that information first before you hand over.
I think it cost me $10 to do a check online.
Yeah.
And it says it's not under finance, not stolen.
Yeah.
I mean, just when that comes up. And it's instantaneous, because all you've got to do is put in the VIN number.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
That just takes away that nervous feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can do it all right, and then suddenly you got the bike, next minute you got the coppers on, and they're all going, yeah, well, actually, you might have bought it, mate, but it's not yours.
And you know when that happens, that's bad luck. You've done your dough.
Yeah.
There's no refund on that.
Well, it's if you can prove in a court that you did it all
legit,
but the amount of time and effort
and money.
It can take 12 months to get your bike, and in the meantime it's sitting in a police holding yard. So you just want to do it right the first time. Don't think just because you're getting a bargain that it's worth taking the risks. It's not.
Yeah, because most times if something's too good to be true,
always will be. Mate.
Yeah. So they're my big things. The other thing is buying second-hand bikes. From a dealer, you've got 3 months warranty. But if you're buying it from privately, whenever you go in there, this is my rule of thumb is this: have a look at the house. If the house is nice and neat and clean, generally the bike would have been looked after. If the house looks like a tip, walk away. You can generally judge a bloke's character pretty quickly just by talking to him and just lay it on him, asking the questions you want to know about the bike. Has he done modifications? Okay, he has. All right, what are they?
Yeah.
Who did the modifications? Right, because mate, you can get Billy down the road who does it in his backyard, or you can get a proper technician to do it. Again, if it hasn't been done properly, walk away. It's not worth it. So there are a lot of the things to consider. The other thing is too, if it has been modified, you need to understand that it probably won't be roadworthy. You need to get it roadworthy. So there's going to be more costs involved in that. That means exhaust, bars, all that sort of stuff.
Well, that was the same with mine, because as new and as beautiful as it was, apparently due to Victoria's loved the environment so much that apparently the pipes on it were a little bit noisy, so I had to swap the pipes on it.
Yep.
I had a pair at home.
Yep.
Off an old Fat Boy. The silver Fat Boy pipes looked like shit on it.
Yep.
For about the 24 hours they were on. But there's all these sorts of things, and especially if you're bringing it from Interstate, there are things that when I got it down, I sort of went, one place wasn't happy with doing with roadworthing it with the bars that were on it. The place I took it to were happy to do it.
Yep.
Well, the difference is about $2,500, mate.
Yep.
Because if they want to swap out the bars,
It's a big job.
It's a big job.
Because you've got to do it
it's all
twice.
internal wires to put them in, and then you've got to take it straight out and do it again.
Yeah.
So a $1,200 job becomes a $2,500 job.
Yep.
So just so they can take a photo for Vic Roads.
Yeah.
Ludicrous.
Which is another. That's another can of worms.
Yeah.
So guys, those are the pitfalls. Number one, never hand over any cash.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, when you're
don't hand over your bike.
Yeah, don't hand over your bike. Now, if somebody rocks up and they say, "Oh, listen, I'll leave you my wallet," do not take that as a given. Don't even take it. Oh, can I leave you my car? That car can be stolen from around the corner.
Yeah.
Bang, here you go. And now you've got a stolen car in the front of your house, and the bike's knocked
off your bloody brand new Harley.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to get around all those things. Basically, if he wants the bike. Yeah, mate, no worries at all. Just give me the cash. Put in a holding there. Tell him to bring a mate along. He sits there with you. The cash is sitting on your table. He brings the bike back undamaged, and he wants it. Yep, cash goes. He brings it back. Says, "No, don't want it. Hand the cash back. That's fine."
Don't like those rules. See you later, mate. Someone else will buy it.
That's exactly right.
No one takes my bike for a ride when I'm selling it, mate.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
You don't need to take a bike for a massive ride. Let's face it. Unless you're a mechanic, you don't know what you're freaking looking at anyway. You turn the bike on, run the motor. You'll know if it's got a clunk or whatever.
Yeah. And if you're dubious about it, say, "Listen, mate, can I take it down to my mechanic so I can look over it?" And if blokes are fair dinkum, they'll say, "Yeah, no worries, mate, take it." If they're, I prefer you didn't. Well, it's probably not the bike for me.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess that's pretty much covers that subject. If you've had a bit of an issue like that, let us know in the comments because we love reading all that sort of stuff.
Well, maybe someone else can learn from your mistakes if you've made one.
Yeah.
But it's just an all too common stuff up that people make, and normally it's done because you're buying with your heart, and we all do, don't we? We see that bike and we go, "Oh, that's the one I want."
Yeah.
But you're not gonna, you just got to be careful with your money. It's too bloody hard to earn these days. Mate.
And the other thing, if you're selling a bike, just be prepared for people to piss you off because. Yeah. People will say they're coming, they don't show. They'll ring you 45 times, blah blah blah. Unfortunately, when you're doing that sort of stuff, you got to sort through the wheat from the chaff, and sometimes it can take a bit of time. And sometimes you can be let down, and blokes don't turn up, and you've lost another sale because of it. That's just part of the pitfalls, and that's just life, unfortunately.
That's part of owning and selling bikes.
Yeah, but other than that. Don't ever hand over your bike or your money. That's our advice. And this actually, we had one of the comments was that a bloke had a bad experience, I think, selling his bike, which is one of the reasons why we have brought the subject up.
Yeah.
Hope that helped you guys.
Now, product of the week. I believe you've been.
I have. I've got a ripper product.
Very comfortable lately.
Just let me go get it for you.
Look at it. He's going for a walk.
Yep.
Careful.
Sorry.
The studio's falling apart. Here we go.
Rightio.
You got a bag.
I've got a bag.
You've been to Coles.
These are. So I can actually well and truly attest to the quality of these jeans.
Yeah?
These are Resurgence motorcycle jeans. They come in this great bag. You can see that. So I actually use these. I actually use these all the time. I rode with these on the trip around Australia. And when we got cleaned up in Newcastle, I had these on. Okay. Elaine had them on as well. We lost no skin whatsoever. At bruising, but I had lost no skin. They didn't tear.
You'd have bruising with leather, really.
And we got flung down the road. We got hit twice. We got pushed down the road.
Well, she wanted to make sure she'd done the job
well, mate. And she did it well.
She did a freaking good job, didn't she?
Still getting through it.
Christ.
They did not tear, did not rip, did not anything. These are literally the most comfortable motorcycle jeans. Actually, comfortable jeans, not just motorcycle jeans, that I've ever had. They're about $250.
I think they're. I was having a look a bit earlier today, mate.
Yep.
$249 for the standard model.
Yep.
And for the super stretch.
Yep.
Ooh, they sound very comfy. $279, which I think is freaking reasonable, really. I mean, you look at the price of something like, say, Dragons, that are around about $500 a bloody pair.
Now, the beauty of these is they weigh 1.1 kilos. Dragon jeans would be about 2.5, right? They come with the protection in the knees.
CC protection.
Hips, all that sort of stuff. If you want it, you don't have to have it. It's a different. It's called Pekev, I think it's called. It's a special sort of fabric. It's got a 10.83 second drag test that it passes. And then they've got a lightweight pair, which is more for summer riding and stuff, which is like a cargo jean and that. I think it's got a 5 point something drag test. Now, I think people think 5 seconds isn't that long, but if you're sliding for more than 5 seconds,
you're having a bad day.
You're in some serious trouble, right? Yeah. They stretch beautifully. There's heaps of give in them. I don't know if you can see that, but there's heaps and heaps of stretch there. They wick away, so they if
they wick away.
Yeah, so if
the hell is wick away?
You know, a wick away, a wick away, a wick away, a wick away. You know, no. Anyway, they so if you're sweaty, it takes the sweat away from you. Trust me, they dry fairly quickly as well, because I was wet for about a week and a half, and these are what I was wearing every day, and they managed to dry pretty quickly. Because they're stretchy, when you put them on, you get on the bike, they are just super, super comfortable.
This is the same company that's advertising a lot on Facebook at the moment.
Yes.
Keeps popping up in my feed.
Now, I didn't see them on Facebook. No. This is before Facebook came up. Let me tell you.
You're a trendsetter, mate.
I think the guy I was dealing with was in New Zealand. I actually rang him. The customer, go back to customer service. His customer service was absolutely second to none. He was fantastic, like really, really good. He was actually the operations manager that I rang, and he took the phone call. Yeah, right. He said, because I was asking him a couple of questions about them. He was happy to answer any question. He said, listen, I'll tell you what. He goes, I'll send them out to you. If there's any issues with them, send them back. I'll refund you straight away. Right? They were that good when I got them. I immediately got on the blower and said, can I order another pair? Because, I thought I'm going away. One gets wet, I can wear the other ones. And then I got a pair for Elaine as well. They are absolutely brilliant. The ones for women, obviously you can get denim and all that sort of stuff. It's a special type of yarn. I think most of them have got 251 fibres. These things have 500 and something fibres per wherever the thing is. So really, really good. The women's ones you can get like leggings, which the ladies love because they're tighter fitting and let's face it, their ass looks good in them. They're really comfy as well, or you can get the denim for the girls as well. The ones that are leggings, they're higher waisted, which again the girls tend to love that sort of stuff because they're more comfortable. And just I can't recommend them more highly. So I know you were looking at buying a new pair of jeans.
I was going to spend the money on another pair of Dragons because I think I've had my pair of Dragons for about 25 years.
Well, I've got Dragon jeans.
And they're beautiful. Look, I would never say shit against Dragon jeans because I think they're a quality product, but they're also very expensive.
Yeah.
And to be able to have a comfortable, because Dragons are heavier.
Yeah.
They are very heavy.
Yeah.
But for summer, say to have a lighter pair with stretches and all, I'm definitely looking at buying a pair
they got the Kevlar lining in them as well.
Yep.
So that's all in there. I don't know if you can see that. There's got the Kevlar lining.
Well, there's different levels of Kevlar lining in there. I mean, there's plenty of cheap jeans out there on the market, but as you say, you've crash test dummied these, mate.
Yeah, and mate, they are, like I said, they're fantastic.
Well, got to be happy with
really,
that.
Really good. So, guys, that's Resurgence. Great product, great follow-up service.
Links.
You'll put the links in there for you. I can't recommend them more highly. They're just brilliant to deal with. Brilliant people to deal with. And I actually said to the guy, if these are any good, I'll actually do a review, which I haven't done, but I've sort of done one now. But if you look at the testimonials on there, and I don't think I can never put a crap one on there, but I don't think you would give a crap testimonial because they are just that good. They're really, really, really good. Really good. I ordered them online, had them in, and they got sizes up to my size. Right? Now I'm a pretty big bloke. And I know for all you big guys...
2 extra large?
Yeah. I know for all you big guys out there, you find it hard to find stuff. Yeah. These fit me, no problem at all. So you'll have no problems getting them for you.
Yeah.
And they fit properly.
Yeah.
A lot of times, if you get for bigger blokes, and bigger blokes will know, you get and the crotch is too long or it's too short, or mate, these are comfortable, great to wear, perfect.
Brilliant.
That's my product of the week.
Excellent.
Done.
Excellent. Now,
yes.
Going on with what went on over in Tassie, mate.
Yep.
I got a root when I was over in Tassie.
Did you?
I did.
Didn't think you'd have it in you after all the miles you travelled.
I did a lot of trials. And the route I got was on the very last day of riding, mate.
Nothing better getting the route on the last day.
Well, before you get home and all that.
Yep.
So I went, and this was again at the recommendation from Big Bert over in Tassie.
Yep.
And that is a place called Hellier Gorge.
Yep.
Now, Hellier Gorge is on the west coast.
Yep.
It's just, if you're going from Lake Tahoe to, what's that one down near Penguin, just where you actually hit the Burnie. Down near Burnie. So between the two, there's just a small turn-off. You turn off the main highway, and I'll put the map up.
Yep.
But you just turn off the highway and you get on this. Well, mate, I think it's about 32 k's. And you wind down into the gorge. And you get down in the gorge, and it's a lovely little gorge, and you can get off. And again, we got off and went for a walk around and along the river and all that. But it wasn't the gorge itself that was the enticement for me. It was the actual road, and the road in and the road out. Oh, beautiful cambers, long sweepers, some tight stuff. It's just one of those roads that you get on, and because we had a nice day, it was just smooth and flowing. Yep. And what a way to finish up our trip in Tassie, mate, was the Hellier Gorge.
Yep.
I'll put some photos up, I'll put the map up, but it is just one of those roads that you ride and you go, you know what, I'm going to remember today's ride for a long time.
Yep.
I mean, we ride a lot, we do a lot of Ks, mate, but there's only those special days when you go on a ride where you just go, that was a ride.
Yep.
And that was a beautiful ride.
Yep.
It was really, it just pleasant. But, I mean, you could go nuts through there, I guess. There's no need to.
Yep.
It's just the countryside was beautiful. The road was clean as.
Yep.
I'm sure someone had walked up ahead of me
Yeah,
and swept the road, mate.
Yep.
It was absolutely perfect.
Yep.
And I couldn't think of a better way to finish the trip to Tassie. So, Hellier Gorge.
Yep.
Must do.
Well, I see your road and I raise you another.
Oh, here we go.
So I got two actually. So so if you want to do, there's a loop you can do from Stanley.
Yep.
To Mirawa, Arthur River, Kuta Rocks. It's a big loop. So basically you go out and you can do it either way. You can do it clockwise or anti-clockwise. Again, absolutely stunning. And again, no cars.
I didn't see a car the entire Hellier Gorge.
I can't believe it's like that.
Yeah.
And we actually made comments. I said, is it public holiday today or something? Because there's just no cars. And you if you haven't watched my vlog series, you can see it on that. But we head out and you go from Stanley out towards Arthur River, Kuta Rocks, Mirawa. The beach at Mirawa is just absolutely beautiful. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it right. And then you go to Arthur River, and again you get to Arthur River you go through beautiful windy sort of. So the west coast of Tasmania is semi like rainforest and stuff, isn't it? So you're going through sort of rainforest. Again, beautiful winding, sweeping bends, little ups and downs, flat road, clean as a whistle. You come over beautiful river areas. It looks like Canada, the Rockies, that sort of stuff. It is just a beautiful river. Then you head towards Kuta Rocks, and another place there escapes me. Anyway, there's video of it, and you go.
I'll get you to give me the map, mate, and we'll shove that up too.
Yeah, and you head down a little dirt track to a little fishing village there with a population of 7. And you go there, and it's just the crystal blue, sapphire blue water. Just your. If you imagine a fishing village, that's what you would imagine. That's what it's like. Cray pots sitting around, it's just beautiful, and come back and it's just.
Speaking of crays, mate, when we were on the Gordon River cruise, they get through what's called Hell's Gates, which was a really, in the old days with the wooden, the sail ships would come, took out many a ship. They take out through. Anyway, they brought us back in through there. And on the right-hand side, there's the old. This is on the Gordon River cruise. There's the old lighthouse keeper's cottage, and that's been sold to some locals. Well, as we driving past, mate, there's 4 blokes out on in the grassed area next to it, about 200 metres from us, mate. You can see the massive cray pot that they're cooking. This is at like 9:30 in the morning. These boys have been going all night, I reckon. They're in their shorts and jumpers. On top, you'd look like they were Nanuka to North, but on they're wearing shorts and thongs. And all 4 of them were just standing there holding crayfish. And the crayfish were no shit this big. You could see them from the boat, and they stretched from their arms down to their hips. These were dinosaur crayfish. And I just thought.
And again, for our folks down the side, that's like lobster, basically.
Lobster, yeah. And I've got to tell you, mate, they look like 4 of the happiest blokes I've ever seen in my life.
No wonder.
I was nearly going to jump overboard and swim over to them, mate. But it was, the crayfish and the seafood in Tasmania.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Amazing.
That's one route. The other one, which is it's not such a wide, but the road from Stanley back down to Launceston along that along the coastline is beautiful. I won't sort of go on that too much, but you go via Penguin. But the other one, and it's like legendary. It's the 99 Bends Road into Queenstown. You go from Hobart across that way into Queenstown, then down to Strawn. My God, that road there is it's just very hard for me to convey how good that road is to ride. You've really just got to do it yourself. It is just
the view from it too is it's sort of like barren because of all the mining and stuff. That's
but even before that,
everything is so open. And like you can look down that way, down about 400 metres, and that's the road.
And you just see it.
And you just see the road ahead of you. I took some video footage through some of the other areas too, and that's one of the things I saw is like you'd be riding along and you'd see in the distance the road that you're on. And I just hit the GoPro, mate, because then you knew when you get to the next corner, and it's just a great.
So that whole way along there, that whole trip. And prior to the 99 Bends, you go through the again, it's like rainforest and that there too. I think that's before or after Derwent Bridge. Anyway, it's just you go past the Snowy Mountain, not the Snowy Mountain, the water, the big hydroelectric scheme, and you go all past that. Again, that road there. Absolutely brilliant. So those 3 are my recommendations. Obviously, the one Whitey did's a ripper as well. So,
look, end of the day, Tassie, if you ride and you want to really ride, Tassie's it's just got to be on your bucket list. It's got to be on your list. It's not a bucket list because you don't want to do it before you die. You want to do it before next year. And I know you want to do it.
Yeah, and I know one of our Canadian. One of our Canadian friends over there, Craig from Schmodo. He's there at the moment, and I'm sure he's loving it as well. But people come from all over the world to ride and to explore that place. It's just next level.
It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Sticking in Tasmania. Biker friendly venue of the week, mate. We went to Richardson's Harley. Now, Richardson's Harley is not just a Harley Davidson dealer. It is a standard Harley Davidson dealer, very similar to what you find everywhere else, except for the fact it's also an entertainment venue. It's got the Iron Horse Saloon, which you can have lunch, breakfast, lunch, tea. They have bands. They have various rooms for functions. And then upstairs they have a ripper of a museum. What a play! It was funny, because when we arrived, I said to Lisa, after the experience a week before, I said, it'll be interesting. I said, we ought to do a bloody series on customer service. I said, let's see, when we walk into this place, how long it takes before someone, because I'm used to walking into a place and sometimes it's like 10 minutes before someone says, yeah, can I help you, mate?
Yeah, well, we even acknowledge you with it.
Well, mate, I did not get 2 steps inside Richardson's Harley.
Yep.
The bloke at front counter, g'day, mate, how you going? Where you from? Melbourne. Oh, okay, how long you over for? Next minute, a 10-minute chat with him.
Yep.
And he said, look, if there's anything I can do to help you, didn't hassle me, didn't immediately want to know what he says, is there anything in particular after? No, righto, mate, well, have a look around and let me know. Mate, I had a look around, they had some really cracking stuff there.
Yep, got some great gear.
Great gear, and their signage.
Yep.
They had a lot of stuff that I haven't seen here before. No. Unfortunately, I didn't have room to put any of it in, but I think I'm going to get online and order a few because...
That's what Elaine did.
Yeah, some absolutely cracking signs there. Anyway, so we had a look around the store, and I've got to do a bit of a shout out here, Lizard. Lizard, who won our last competition, actually. Lizard from Lizard Son of Anarchy YouTube channel. He said to us, he put out a video the other week, and it had a bit on Richardson's Harley Davidson in it, and in it he identified the owner, Simon.
Yep.
Well, we're there, and I identified, here's Simon walking through.
Yep.
So I said to Lisa, that's the owner of the place. She said, well, we better get a photo.
Yep.
So embarrassing, mate. She walks over. Hello, Mr. Richardson. Richardsons, So, no worries. He stopped in his tracks. Not only did he give us a photo, he said, what are you doing over here? I explained that we were over there touring and we were doing some vlogging. I said, actually, I'd love to interview you. He says, all right. Next minute, we're sitting down doing a full interview, and you'll see that on a video coming out shortly. And there's a scurrilous plug if ever I've seen it. And then he says, where are you going to next? I said, we're going to Stanley. He says, I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to go get a map, show you the way you need to go. So he's come back 5 minutes later, sat down with us, showed us on the map exactly the way he thinks is the best motorcycle road to get to where we were going, to Stanley, and it was a cracker. Simon, if you're watching, absolute cracker. We loved it. And then he says, look, if you're still here in about 20 minutes, I'll take you for a tour. Mate, we got the Royal Tour. I went into the bowels of Richardson's Harley, and the bowels are big. I went into the large bowel. Mate, it's big out the front. It's bigger out the back. And as I said, stay tuned for that video because that place is sensational. And you know what? They're even looking at putting some accommodation there. Well,
how good would that be?
To be able to go over on the boat, ride from Devonport to Launceston, park your bike, and you spend a couple of days at Richardson's Harley. Hello, kill me now. I've succeeded in life. I'm happy, man. Because what a great venue. And somewhere they should be very, very proud of. It's their 45th year this year. So my venue of the week is a Tassie venue, Richardson's Harley Davidson. If you're over there and you're a Harley rider, or even if you're not, next door to Richardson's Harley, they have the World of Motorcycles. So they've got another massive store connected to it, which is all other bikes. And they've got Royal Enfields, there was some Ducatis there was some Yamahas there was all sorts of KTMs, they had bloody jet skis, all sorts of things there. So, I mean, the place is a hell of a venue. They've even built outside on the other side of the car park, there's a small house type structure, and that's for the Harley Owners Group. That's their clubhouse. Now, I don't know how much you boys from the Launceston Harley Owners Group party, but he has to actually put you over there in the field. I said to him, why are they over there, mate? They must party all right, those boys, so I wouldn't mind getting over and having a bit of a party with the boys from the Launceston Hog, mate, because they got a nice little setup there. So, Harley...
Richardson's Harley Davidson, I same thing. I had a fantastic experience there, and... I'd absolutely give it a thumbs up. If you're over there, make sure you go. It's fantastic.
So
good food too.
Yeah. So the next section is a new section called the blatant self-promotion segment. And the blatant self-promotion segment is basically, we've actually already discussed it, mate. I think if you're interested in all these things we've discussed about Tassie, get over to Paul's channel, The Harley Roadshow. He's got a whole series on your touring Tassie, mate. You've done an absolute cracking job there, and you'll see a lot of the things that we've been talking about. Well, certainly all the things that Paul's been talking about. And I'll have a few videos coming out soon as well. Same sort of thing. And
the other one is the David Parry interview, which is absolutely sensational. It's probably one of the best interviews of that style I've seen. The questions were fantastic, and David was sensational with his answers. Very thoughtful, open, shared the insights into his life and everything. And I just thought it was fantastic. So if you don't know who David Parry is, he's the $1 Million Bogan sidekick. Would have done a lot of the vlogs with him. Just a ripping bloke, and he's actually a ripping bloke.
Mate,
we've met him outside of that situation, and just a very, very nice guy, along with Danny. Danny's a cracking bloke too. Both of them give their time freely to help people, and that video, if you haven't seen it on Whitey's channel, check it out because it is a ripper.
Mate, it's had an incredible response, actually.
It has, and even David said he didn't realise
how big it was going to be. And I always thought it was going to be, mate, because I knew that there was an interest,
Well, there's a love for him.
He's I tell you what, he's the ultimate mate.
Yeah. And who would have thought, like you said, the two real estate agents with the doyen of the biker community in the world at the moment.
Yeah. And if you just said, tell me what profession would be, you wouldn't have picked real estate agent, mate. No. But, thanks to David, because he was so easy to work with, mate doing the interview really easy. So we'll put links to Paul's stuff and those videos in the show notes. And
guys, can I just say one thing too? If you've got ideas that you want us to discuss, that there's topics that you want us to bring up, we are all ears. Like we said from the start, we want your involvement, we want your input. We really do. So please, if you've got stuff, send it. Let us know in the comments, and we'll be happy to follow it through for you.
Yeah, cool. This will be our final update for the Man Cave contest.
Yep.
We've only got a couple of entries, so if you've got anything, send it to us because you've got a very good chance of winning. All right. Anything that's motorcycle or motor vehicle related Man Cave, we just want to see a few photos. We'll pick the best, and then we'll put them up for you guys to think. But at the moment, haven't had can't say we've had a great response, mate. But we have had a response, so we are going to have a winner. The question is it going to be an easy win for that person, or are you going to make it a little bit harder for them? Yeah. So shoot us your things, because quite frankly, I still want to steal all your ideas.
Yes.
All right.
It doesn't have to be a whole man cave. It's just man cave ideas. So you've done something like, I made a motorcycle rack. If you've made a helmet rack, let us know. If you made a jacket rack, let us know. That sort of stuff is what we're after.
Okay. Correspondence. I just want to talk to you about one bit of correspondence I got, and it was actually on the first of the David Parry interviews.
Yep.
Now, you all know that we interviewed Annie last week.
Play?
Annie, did you play? Absolutely fantastic. Now, the night that this was released, which was last Sunday night,
yep.
I woke up early because we had to get the Spirit of Tasmania home, and I checked the comments on the thing, and a bloke called Two Wheels Are Best from the UK gave me a long comment, and he talked a lot about the video and all sorts of things, but at the very end of it he said, and this is the funny thing, because at this time we had ended up at Annie's house.
Yes.
We're staying the night at Annie's, we've had dinner with Annie, we've been over and seen the penguins across the road from her house.
Now can I just say too, up to a few weeks ago, we'd never met Annie in our life.
Never met Annie in our life.
Right? I actually met Annie first on the, which is the next vlog's coming up, on the trip through Penguin. We bumped into her and had a chat, and I said, "Oh, geez, if you're ever in Melbourne, come on the show." Continue. That's how much.
So now we're mates because
because she's just a legend.
We sponged the night's accommodation off, and I tell you what, Annie, absolutely brilliant night. We had such a fun time. But I wake up about 4:30 in the morning just about to get a bit of. I'll just check to see how the things going.
Yep.
And this guy's last comment was, "Here's a question for you. Do you know of a lady who set off to tour the world on her bike from Tasmania?" I've gone, what the? I met her years ago at the Horizons Unlimited meeting and often wonder how she got on. Stay safe, and you now have another sub, which was great. And my answer to that was, Dear Two Wheels, you won't believe it, but we're on holiday in Tasmania and currently drinking tea in Annie's lounge room. Because by that stage I'd got up and I'd told Annie. And she was in shock, mate. It was absolutely hilarious because I said to her, Annie, sit down. And you're not going to believe what just came in, and I read that to her, and she knew exactly who it was. It's a gentleman from the UK that she met in France at the, I think it was France, at the Horizons Unlimited meeting on the bike. What a small world. And,
unbelievable.
So obviously I've passed on.
I know when you rang me, I said, you've got to be kidding. Yeah. Like, what are the chances of that?
Yeah, it was an absolute cracker, mate. So
isn't YouTube and social media fantastic in some ways like that? It connects the world. In some ways, it's a shit house too.
That's it. Yeah, well, it can be, mate, but you just got to use it for good instead of evil.
Yes.
So, all right, last thing, rallies, runs and events. So, 6th of April, we've got the Night on the Bike, the Children's Hospital fundraiser. Now, that's departing from 3 locations, and it's Chris Montalti, who I did a video for his memorial ride the other week. It was started by him, and it's now the baton's been taken up by his sister and her husband.
Yep.
And they're doing a fantastic job, and such a good job that actually on this ride, Danny Hayes, the $1 Million Bogan, has actually auctioned off the ride on the back of his. Yep. I know Eamon from Old Not Dead has auctioned off a ride on the back of his bike as well. So that's on the 6th of April.
There's 3 locations. I think there's
Dandenong,
Caroline Springs.
Yeah.
And where was the other one?
It's over this side, Werribee.
I can't remember.
Anyway, have a look on the Victorian Rallies, Runs and Events Facebook page if you're interested. All the details are there, or just type into Facebook page A Night on a Bike.
Yep.
It's every year and it's cracking. I think they've got about 250
and
people.
It's Good Friday Eve.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it's a good show. You know, they go from the meet-up location into the Children's Hospital, drop off the donations, then they head across to Williamstown, and I think it finishes up about 10 o'clock at night, something like that. So it's a good night.
I think it'll be a good one, and hopefully me and Lisa will get along to that.
Yeah, well, Ella and I are going. So.
You're definitely going?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, 7th and 8th of April, we've got the Francis Border Rally, which is about 200 metres over the border into South Australia.
Yep.
And it's a music / motorcycle rally.
Yep.
That's about as much as I know about it, but it looks like fun. 15th and 16th of April, next week, Kerrang Racecourse. We've got the Harley Evo Fest. I might have to get along to that, mate. Oh, look at that.
Look at that, beautiful. Look at that.
He's looking over at his little Evo there, and they got the Evo Fest, mate, and I'm thinking, you know what? We might just have to make a little...
Yes.
We might have to make a little...
Tell you what, if my seat's in by then, I might
ride
saddle
it.
Up. Yeah.
Ooh, nice. 15th of April, we also have a shop ride from Morgan and Wacker. They're running a shop ride from their shop up to the Kinglake Pub. You do need to register for that one. So just go to the Morgan and Wacker Facebook page, or you can get to it through the Victorian Rallies, Runs and Events page. It's leaving at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And on the 16th of April, we've got the Merboo North biannual, so every 2 years, motorcycle-only swap meet, which is in Castle Street, Merboo North.
Yep.
Now, anyone who rides in Victoria knows that there's some lovely rides up around Merboo.
Yep.
So, me, I'd be looking at organising a nice ride up through there and finishing up there for lunch and taking in the motorcycle-only swap meet.
Yep.
So, that's basically it for the next fortnight. We've got 5 events there. Get on to any of them that you can. As I said, if you get onto the Victorian Rallies, Runs and Events Facebook group, all of these are listed and there's a flyer for each of them.
Yep.
So that's it, mate. That's I think we've, along with our major subject of purchasing a motorbike, I think we've had a pretty good Tasmanian theme here.
Yep.
And if you want to know more about Tassie, you can shoot us an email.
Yeah, happy to help out.
But all I can do is recommend you go,
yep,
because it is a stunning place to ride a motorcycle.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, that's it from me.
That's it from him.
And that's it from Hogs.
Cogs.
And 2 Aussie Flogs. Catch you next time, guys.
Ciao.